Hello, my friend, and welcome to Wisdom Trek. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, your guide to wisdom and creating a living legacy. Thank you for joining us for our 5-day-per-week Wisdom and Legacy Building podcast. This is day 686 of our trek, and it is Wisdom Wednesday. Every Wednesday along Life's Trail, we will dig for the nuggets of wisdom that are found in the book of Proverbs. Today, we will explore Proverbs 25 from the Voice translation, which will give us a fresh perspective on this book of timeless wisdom. We are broadcasting from our studios at the Big House in Marietta, Ohio. I have experienced continual healing on my broken femur over the past 3 weeks. I am now able to walk completely unassisted. I do still have a slight limp and am experiencing some pain, but we are very pleased with how rapidly it is healing. Paula and I invested Labor Day morning outside weeding and replacing impatiens that we planted in the spring with burnt orange buns for the fall months. I am thankful that my leg is healed to the point where I can now work outside and return to many of my usual duties. Some tasks are a bit difficult, and it takes wisdom to know when to limit myself, while still pushing toward the limits to strengthen the fracture and the muscles. Wisdom is an important aspect in all areas of life. Today, from Proverbs 25, we will learn Wisdom for Leadership Development. Chapter 25 marks the beginning of the 5th major section of Proverbs. Let's review what we've covered so far. Section 1, which is chapters 1 through 9, consists of speeches from a father to a son. Section 2 is chapter 10 through chapter 22, verse 16, and contains 675 sayings from Solomon. Section 3 is chapters 22, verse 17 through 24, verse 22, and they begin with the 30 sayings of the wise. Section 4 is chapter 24, verse 23 through 34, and includes further sayings of the wise. And Section 5 is chapter 25 through 29, which unfolds even more of Solomon's Proverbs. We know from 1 Kings chapter 4, verse 32, that Solomon was a prolific sage who is responsible for writing thousands of proverbs, though other hands are responsible for organizing and editing the book. An interesting note that in Section 5 was actually collected some 250 years after Solomon by King Hezekiah, which is stated in the first verse. This section of Proverbs is all about leadership development. Chapters 25 through 27 are directed to royal messengers, while chapters 28 and 29 are addressed to people in places of authority. Imagine the life of a royal servant. You need to know proper etiquette, protocol, and how to conduct yourself. You also need to learn how to resolve conflict, diffuse a tense situation, and how to make a compelling case. All that knowledge is right here. Chapter 25 is a manual for courteous conduct for important affairs. Whether you are an ambassador for a country, or a spokesman for a company, an agent for a client, or even a go-between for friends and family, there is something here for you. What might the Lord teach you today about how to conduct important affairs? Listen intently as I read Proverbs chapter 25. These words, too, are Proverbs of King Solomon, words which Hezekiah, king of Judah, later told his scribes to record for posterity. God's glory is shown when he conceals things. A king's glory is shown in his ability to explore the facts of a matter. As the heights of heavens and the depths of earth are beyond our comprehension, so are the hearts of kings. Take away impurities from the silver, and a good smith can create something of value. Take away the wicked among the king's advisers, and his reign will be established with integrity. Do not claim to be important in the presence of a king, or vie for a position within the company of great men. Truly, it is far sweeter to have someone of influence say to you, "Come up here and join us," than to be ordered to some lower rank in front of a noble. Just because you think you've seen something doesn't mean that you should be quick to take it to court, for what will you do if your neighbor disproves your charge and embarrasses you? Instead, discuss a matter directly with your neighbor, but in doing so, remember never to reveal another person's secret. For if you do, someone who hears you could disgrace you, and a bad reputation will cling to you ever afterwards. A well-spoken word at just the right moment is like golden apples in settings of silver. To an attentive ear, constructive criticism from a truly wise person is like an earring or jewelry made of fine gold. Like the cooling snow that breaks the heat of a harvest day, so is the messenger who is faithful to those who sent him, for he refreshes the soul of his masters. Like clouds and winds that bring no rain, so is one who boasts of gifts promised but never delivered. Patience can soften up a leader, and a tender tongue can break even bone. When you find honey, remember to eat only what you need, because if you eat in excess, you may be sick and lose all of it. Don't visit your neighbor too often, or he will become tired of you and grow to hate you. Like a maul and a sword and a sharp arrow all in one, so is anyone who bears false witness against a neighbor. Like a tooth that is rotten or a foot that is unsteady, so is relying on a person who can't be trusted in times of trouble. Like a man who undresses in winter, or a woman who pours vinegar on a wound, so is anyone who tries to sing happy songs to a sorrowful heart. If your enemy is hungry, give him something to eat. If he is thirsty, give him something to drink. For your treatment will be like heaping hot coals on his head. It may cause a change of heart, and the Eternal will repay you. As surely as the north wind drives the rain before it, a backbiting tongue brings angry looks. It is better to dwell on the corner of your roof than to live inside your house with a badgering wife. Like cool water to a weary soul is good news from a distant country. Like a muddy spring or a polluted fountain, so is a righteous person who gives in to the wicked. Eating too much honey is not good for you, nor is it good to seek one honor after another. Like a conquered city with no walls is a man who has no self-control. That will conclude our explorations of Proverbs 25. We all must learn the wisdom necessary to be prepared for leadership roles that we are involved in. Each of us is a leader in some aspect of life. The precepts found in God's words have the law of planting and harvesting built into them. If you plant good seeds of life, you will reap a bountiful harvest, and the opposite is also true. Over the course of our lives, we will harvest what we plant. Each week, we will explore a full chapter in Proverbs. I hope that you'll join us next week for chapter 26, so that you can gain wisdom, insight, and understanding for yourself. The entire book of Proverbs provides us with rich wisdom, insight, and understanding on a myriad of life issues. Regardless of where you are on your faith walk, if the precepts of Proverbs are followed, your life will be rich and satisfying. I encourage you to take them and plant the seeds of wisdom into your heart, that you'll reap a harvest of wisdom throughout your life. Tomorrow we will continue with our 3-minute wisdom nugget that will provide you with a bit of wisdom that, if followed, will allow you to grow healthier, wealthier, and wiser each day. So encourage your friends and family to join us and to come along with us tomorrow for another day of Wisdom Trek, creating a legacy. That will finish our trek for today. If you'd like to listen to any of the past daily treks or read the Wisdom Journal, they are available at wisdom-trek.com. You can also subscribe at iTunes or Google Play so that each day's trek will be downloaded to you automatically. And thank you so much for allowing me to be your guide, your mentor, but most importantly, I am your friend, as I serve you through the Wisdom Trek podcast and journal each day. And as we take this trek of life together, let us always live abundantly, love unconditionally, listen intentionally, learn continuously, lend to others generously, lead with integrity, and then leave a living legacy each day. I am Guthrie Chamberlain, reminding you to keep moving forward, enjoy your journey, and then create a great day every day. See you tomorrow.